Each Red Bull cliff diving event features 8 permanent and 4 wildcard divers per gender. Across an event, athletes perform 4 dives, a required, an intermediate dive, and 2 optional dives. These dives vary in difficulty. A panel of 5 judges scores every dive from 0 to 10. The highest and the lowest scores are eliminated, and the remaining 3 are added together. That total is then multiplied by the degree of difficulty to create the dive score. The higher the degree of difficulty, the harder the dive. All 4 dive scores combine for the athlete's final event result. At each stop, series points are awarded with a bonus point for the best dive of the competition. And at the end of the season, the athlete with the highest total ranking points is crowned Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series champion, lifting the King Kahikili Trophy.
Required dive is a restricted degree of difficulty, and it's all about execution and style. We're going to kick off in just a couple minutes with the women from the 21-meter platform, that's 70 feet above the St. Pete Harbor. First time ever the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series comes to Florida. All right, we are ready to kick off this competition with the ladies round 1. Our first diver is debuting on the World Series here today. This is Maike Halbisch from Germany. Forward double somersault, half twist, pike position. Internationally recognized judges here today, and what are they looking at? They're looking at an overall impression that looks at the takeoff, the flight, and the entry into the water for one overall impression. We picked the 3 medium scores.
Gotta put in that work. Gotta put in that work. Gotta work.
Up next from Australia, the 9 times World Series cliffdiving champion, Ifland, performing a reverse double somersault in the touch position. That's a double gainer. Every single year since 2016, she's going for an unprecedented 10 this season. It's a great way to start the competition, standing forward, rotating back.
And my shoes. Beautiful shoes? Yeah.
Our third diver representing the Netherlands, Van Tapwit, performing a reverse somersault in the flight position.
Not bad for 8 months not doing it.
Yeah, but that's good. That's good.
Maybe a little punch.
I was behind a little bit, so I didn't see it. So me, I like it, the takeoff and the kick.
We're going to see dives with 1 somersault, 2 somersaults, and even some triple somersaults in this first round. But they all have the same degree of difficulty. Limited to 2.6 on the 20-meter platform. And the diver chooses this round 1 dive to maximize their execution points based on the style that they prefer. Judges in the 6.5 range for Jeannie, great takeoff. Just ever so slightly over on the bottom of that dive. Judges Award, 80.7. Start number 4 from France is Madeleine Bayon. Performing an inward double somersault half twist, standing backwards, rotating in towards the platform. couple of seasons to up her degree of difficulty. And we're going to see a brand new handstand dive from her in the coming days.
Oh, no worries.
Oh, sorry, that way, sorry. Ah, feels good to be back.
The judges looking at the overall impression, but that entry is so important, and that is the cleanest we've seen a diver go through in this first few. Coming off her first World Series podium a couple weeks ago in Indonesia, it's a flying reverse somersault in the pipe.
They're out here. There's like one of them just circling. It's so cool. Let's go, Mom.
Example of a flying reverse somersault. You can see she keeps a fully straight body for the first half of that dive before bending at the hips. That is called the flying position.
Beautiful. So cool. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Do we have a shower here?
somersault, half twist, pike position. Phenomenal elevation from the platform. Great takeoff. You can see her coach, Steve LeBeau over there, cheering teammates from South Florida. What an amazing start for Lisa. Moving on to our youngest competitor in this competition.
Fire!
19-year-old
Fire!
representing Ukraine. This is Nelly Chukanitska.
You want me here or can I leave? Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Back, one somersault in the pike position. What is the hardest dives that these athletes can do? We're going to see 4 or 5 somersaults over the next couple of days. So make sure you come back for Friday and Saturday rounds to see the hardest dives in the world. Still, a single rotation to the puts Kaylee into second place with 63.7. Just over a point ahead of teammate Lisa Faulkner. Alright, 3 ladies left to dive, and up next, representing Canada, Molly Carlton. Lives and trains in Montreal, kicking us off with a reverse double somersault in the tug position. She was a little bit nervous about this reverse double somersault. It's been quite a long time since she completed it. What a takeoff! Spinning back.
Hate that dive. Good thing that's over. Thanks, guys. I'm really following you. The runway walk after the dive. Oh, thank you so much.
We've got a few waves coming in here, which is another element of cliff diving that these divers have to deal with. Conditions are pretty tough here in St. Pete. Really windy. On top with a 66.3, and it's the 2 Americans of Kaylee Arnett and Lisa Faulkner hot on her heels. Last diver in this ladies round 1, Simone Leathed from Canada. Reverse somersault in the pike position to close off this round. through the water and they get a good entry. We call that the rip entry. Sounds like paper being torn fast. Great sound in the before we come back with
It's really salty. Oh. The water is really salty.
hitting the water at 54 miles per hour from those heights.
No, wasn't.
Will count towards their total across the weekend.
Not this
The
time.
winner of the contest has the highest cumulative points of their 4 dives across all rounds. First round definitely sets the tone for the next few days. Round 1 actually acts as seeding for tomorrow, so the highest ranked divers after this first round will have the honour of diving out tomorrow. The ones with lower scores dive first.
You live in Portugal or what?
Okay, everybody, it's time to welcome our men for their first round of diving here. Kicking off the contest from Plymouth, United Kingdom, Aidan Haslock, the 2024 World Series champion. He was injured last year, but he just came back in Bali, took the first win of the year. Reverse double somersault, high position. platform. These men were flying for almost 3 seconds from 90 feet. Just a little bit over-rotated on the bottom of that dive from Aiden. Star number 2, representing Spain. This is Carlos Jimeno, and this is our first dive featuring a triple rotation. Forward 3 somersaults, half twist, tuck position. On the bottom of that forward triple half. Great takeoff platform, spinning fast. Just needs to stand up. Alright, next diver representing New Zealand. This is Braden Rumpet. We're going to see another forward triple half here, but this time in 3 positions. In the middle of the Canary Islands. Beautiful part of the world. See the judges going? A little bit lower here. So much action now from that 90-foot platform. That's the first somersault. Comes out into the fully straight position. Looks at the water and then goes back in the pipe. So he's showing tuck, straight and pipe in 3 different somersaults. strides forward. 35 time chorus. Our next diver on the 27-meter platform, representing Brazilian, Konstantin Pavlovich. Forward triple somersault half twist, tight position. Another triple somersault, this time in a plank position. You can see folding onto his legs with completely straight legs, toes pointed. That's an absolutely perfect plank position from a judge's perspective. And they reward it with 8 across the board. That's going to put actually, if the birds don't keep themselves busy, sometimes it's harder to do just a single or a double rotation for under 90 feet.
But now I think I'm
cliffdiving start of this season.
A strong weekend.
stylish dive from Davide. That was our first single rotation from 90 feet. It takes so much air awareness and body control to find that vertical line on a single rotation of almost 3 seconds of air time. Davide coming off a great start to the season. Cliffdiving series. The event winner at Boston on home soil last year, looking to take another great result here in Tampa. Forward, triple somersault, half twist, high position. Teammates are happy. Actually lives and trains in Fort Lauderdale. The Flight Center has the only full-time training center for high diving in North America. Jonathan Paredes braving the wind. Great handstand. Takes another level of strength and confidence to perform that at those heights. Coming off a great season opener, he hit the podium in Indonesia just 2 weekends ago. Some deductions. 2 for Raiders. Alright, next man on the platform is the most decorated cliff diver in the history of this sport. He has stood on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series podium 80, that's 80 times. Representing France for an inward double somersault, half twist, right position. Starting with Kathleen Roya, one of the World Series heavyweights, more stylish than this onward, flying somersault in a free position into the water, landing backwards, rotating forwards, setting out the flight on this one. Beijing in 2008 on a 3-meter springboard. Finds himself 9 times higher than that. Tomorrow we contest the second and third round. And if you enjoyed today's show, it's only going to get crazier, more extreme with the hardest dives in the world yet to come. Yeah? What up in terms of level of diving to expect over the next couple of days? That's all for now. Thank you for coming. Thursday at the Redbull World Series. Training will continue. 155 divers. Training
Look at about just of the standings, for the standing, you know.
Am I first?
A new season of Red Bull cliff diving, and with that, we are debuting our brand new on-screen graphics. Now at every event, you will quite literally dive right into the action, as the location bug gives you all of the key information about the competition, even if you've just tuned in. As a diver gets ready to perform a dive, you will be introduced to a brand new graphic. In our dive intro, you will not only learn about the dive that's being performed and its degree of difficulty, but also the average judges' score required for first place, as well as how the diver has performed this particular dive in the past. Once a dive has been scored by the 5 judges, you'll now see the average judges' score, alongside the score required for first place or to improve in the standings. These 2 numbers allow you to instantly see what is at stake and whether a diver has reached their goal or missed out on it. All scores feed into the current competition standings. If a diver's name is in bold white letters, it means that they've already completed their dive. If the name appears in light blue and slightly transparent, it indicates that the diver is still to perform in this respective round. And don't forget the small star next to a diver's name. This highlights the athlete who currently holds the highest scoring dive of the competition, earning a valuable bonus point towards the Red Bull cliff diving overall series standings.
I'm so happy.
Each Red Bull cliff diving event features 8 permanent and 4 wildcard divers per gender. Across an event, athletes perform 4 dives are required, an intermediate dive, and 2 optional dives. These dives vary in difficulty. A panel of 5 judges score every dive, 0 to 10. The highest and the lowest scores are eliminated, and the remaining 3 are added together. That total is then multiplied by the degree of difficulty to create the dive score. The higher the degree of difficulty, the harder the dive. All 4 dives are combined and final event result. At each stop, series are rewarded with a bonus point for the best dive competition. And at the end of the season, the athlete with the highest total ranking points are crowned redbull cliffdiving World Series champion, lifting his pink and green trophy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got this church right now. We're going on. It is time to meet with you. Introduce our judges. Yes, we have 5 qualified Judge number 3 from Mexico, Martinez. Judge number 4 from Colombia, Eva. And your 5th and final judge from Italy, Valerio Palazzo. Now that's a good responsibility to have. When they talk to us in general terms, what are they going to be looking for? What is going to get high scores? Conversely, where will the deductions come from? Absolutely. So these judges will be looking at the dives and judging based on their own.
Position. Kein Bild.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is about time. Going for the run. We've checked out the circumstance. If you remember, this is the first round. St. Petersburg. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the first athlete coming to it comes by way of Germany. Let's welcome Mikey.
Muss er nochmal außen durchstecken. Also hatte ich nie aus alleine.
Absolutely. Round 2 is intermediate. So they have a limited degree of difficulty, a maximum of 3.4 in this round, and then they're going to ramp it up for the next round. So stick around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to meet our next athlete. This is the World Cup champion at the start of this season, her first major podium of her career, reverse double somersault, 2 twists. Means that she nailed the bottom portion of it. Absolutely, and this dive, more difficult than the one that we saw before. This is not the maximum for this round of 3.4. Starts facing forward, but she's rotating back towards the platform. That's what we call reverse. And she's actually rotating on 2 axes. Without a doubt. Well, we're waiting for the scores to come in for our judges. Don't think we don't see you out there on those paddle boards holding up your scores out there. We've got 2 unofficial judges in the water that are giving their numbers. Lots of 10s being given out there. But let's see what's offered from our critical eye. There we go. Owen, give the score. 44.2 for that round. 6.5s counting from the judges. All right, we have our next athlete in the position right now coming to us from the Netherlands. Let's celebrate Ginny Van Katwijk. And what a story Ginny has. She actually learned a lot of her high dives on Royal Caribbean cruise ships, diving for people from all over the world out of Florida. Performance, and we're only 3 dives deep. And I have to say, I think the reason that is because the weather is so much better today than it was yesterday. Like we said, it was gusting up to 35 miles an hour yesterday. Sun's out today. That means the rips are out. Great dive, Ginny Van Katwijk. And just flight in the next round.
Man, I'll tell you what, the judges have their work cut out for them. Oh, and that looked perfect from my unaffiliated eye right there. We're starting to see some scores come in, and we'll know in just a moment.
Good work from Jeannie. She goes into first place for now, 7.5, counting from the judges. What a start.
Time to meet our fourth diver coming by way of France. This is Madeleine Bayon.
Madeleine from France, one of the new wildcards. She's been really improving over the past couple of seasons. In the next round, we're going to see a really unique new dive from her, but this is intermediate round. Forward, triple somersault, half twist in the pike position. One of the greatest cliff divers in American history, a former world champion in this sport. He's actually the head coach at the Water Dive High Diving Club team, and he's working with not only American athletes, he's working with athletes from all over the world who want to do this sport to the highest level. Sevens counting from the judges for a total of 71.4. Puts her into second place for now.
And again, it's Fort Lauderdale where that diving platform is located, the 27-meter. And that's going to bring us now to an athlete who in Bali was celebrated with a third-place finish. She's a wildcard athlete, also coming by way of Switzerland. This is Morgan Herculiano.
And we have a very interesting device strapped onto Morgan to measure the heart rate live before she dives, so we're going to hear that over the PA.
This is her actual heartbeat right now as she's getting ready to dive. We'll have to see, does it go up? Does it go down? If you see green, it's good. Another beautiful dive right there, and you know, going back to our watching that heartbeat counter right there, it seemed to have some consistency. How do you battle the adrenaline that's got to be surging?
I mean, you're standing on that platform, you can see she was hovering right around 150 beats per minute. That's like doing an intense workout in the gym. And let me tell you, that's all adrenaline. No matter how many times you go up to that platform, no matter how experienced you are, it's so important that you get a little bit scared, because that fear keeps you focused, keeps you dialed in to perform these.
All right, we're now moving on to an athlete who's high profile in the world of Red Bull cliff diving, coming by way of Canada. Let me introduce Molly Carlson. Carlson.
Molly Carlson has revolutionized the online short-form content all over Instagram and TikTok. You might have seen this face somewhere in the world. This is her round 2 dive, forward, triple somersault, half twist pike.
Little more. Alright. Yeah.
Seen another great dive, at least from my perspective, Owen. From your eyes, how did that go for Molly?
So she has such an explosive takeoff the platform. She's jumping so high. She's spinning fast. It looked like she was spinning a little bit too fast, but she did the right thing. She put her arms right above her head until the very last.
Performance, a difficulty of a 3.4 on the DD. Scores are rolling in now.
She needed to go above 7s for first, and she's done that. She goes into the lead with a 76.5, and the next and top 6 to go.
The next athlete coming at you, hails out of Canada. Let's make some noise for Simone Leated.
Simone Leated, the teammates of Molly Carlson, and they have their coach down there on the deck, Steph Lapointe, also a massive face in the coaching scene of cliff diving.
Just go out a bit.
Okay, move out a little bit.
Yeah, perfect. Flat.
Man, another nailed dive right there. A lot to be celebratory about for sure.
Absolutely, and Simone was such a talented 10-meter platform diver coming into cliff diving. If you're familiar with the Olympic Games, 10 meter is what you see at the Olympics, and the ladies are going double that height, and the men almost triple that height, and landing feet first into the water due to those high speeds. You might be wondering, what does it take to get a 9 or a 10? They look perfect, these dives, but those judges have a hawk's eye on every little detail. Right now, big scores coming in the next round. Simone, she's in the lead for now, for a total of 132.4 after 2 rounds.
All right, we've got a Ukrainian diver in position next. Let me introduce to you Nelly Chukanimska.
Nelly, the first junior high diving world champion back in 2022. She's our youngest diver in the field today, just 19 years of age, but she has already hit the podium on this World Series before.
Just to watch them accelerate. I mean, they're at a dead stop, Owen, and by the time they get down low, 55 miles an hour, and those twisted turns, amazing stuff.
I am so impressed by how consistent Nelly is with 19 years of age. I was speaking to her coach, Oleg, in the picture they wanted to add. Comes a little bit short of that, 7.5. She's in 4th place for now with a 125.7. But all of these ladies are so close. Nobody is running away with this.
Not at all. And another one that's going to toss her hat into the round of 2 fray. Veteran diver coming to us by way of Australia. Let's hear it for Xanthia Panisi.
Xanthia, she's been on the World Series for many years. She has hit the podium so many times. One of our most experienced athletes on this tour. 35 event starts.
Wow, different start, but same great finish. Talk to us about that dive, Owen. Obviously, a different position coming off of that platform.
That was our first example of an arm stand dive. We're going to see a few of these throughout the weekend, and you might think to yourself, how could anybody possibly go up that high? Hold an arm stand. Well, it takes so much mental and physical training to do that. A lot of work in the dry land, hours per week, conditioning the abs, the upper body, to do this maneuver. Great dive from Xanthia. We're going to check out where that puts her and then take a look at the overall. Ginny, Van Katwijk from the Netherlands, hot on their heels in 4th. Let's see what our top 3 divers coming into this round can do about that.
All right, again, it is some competitive diving going on. Scores are close, and our next athlete to make the run to the top, coming from the United States of America, let's hear it for Lisa Faulkner.
Lisa Faulkner, this is her first full season on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. She got into this sport last year as a wild card, and she came out of the blocks hot.
Hi guys, how are you today? How'd you guys look? Good. Can I have a 0 instead?
she's showing us why she is one of the favourites to hit a podium across this whole season. Just working on the consistency right now, we know that she has the ability to do these dives to the highest level. Can she string all 4 rounds together? But this second round was certainly right there. Great takeoff, great height position.
Great position right now from the that's going to take us up to the final. We've got 2 athletes left. And ladies and gentlemen, also representing the United States of America, this is Canada.
Cliffdiving skills in shows all around the world. Take it away, Kate. But you're right, nothing to see an athlete from here in the States. But then you got Basin, you got Michael Jordan, you got Kelly Slater, and we have right now coming to you from Australia, 9-time cliffdiving World Series champion, Ryan Evelyn. He is the greatest to ever do it in cliffdiving, going for her 10th season win in a row here in 2026.
Back a bit. Okay.
And she takes 88.4 in this round, which means that Katie Arnett from the USA inches ahead
falls different by less than 1 point. That is such a small margin in the grand scheme of things, but fantastic to see some challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed those first 12 dives in round 2 from the ladies, let them hear you right now!
And the best dive of the round goes to Kaylee Arnett. She takes the lead after round 2, 155.5. Rhiannon Iflin less than 1 point behind with a 154.7. And Lisa Falter with very difficult dives to come. She's in 3rd place. 2 Americans in the top 3.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to our musical interlude right now. The men are getting ready to do it. Until then, bring it to Miami style here to St. Pete. This is DJ Mommy.
DJ Mommy.
Mamacita. Mamacita.
But these will be the 11 athletes that we're going to see, Owen.
Absolutely, and they will be diving in reverse order based on the seas yesterday. Carlos Jimeno of Spain, he dives first with the lowest dive total. Costa dives in that last spot because he had the best points from yesterday. You can see their current rank on the scoreboard, and we are just moments away from getting into this one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get into round number 2 for the men cliff divers here in St. Pete. Coming from Spain, let's welcome in Carlos Jimeno.
From the Canary Islands, what a beautiful part of the world. Carlos Jimeno. We're going to kick off with a triple reverse somersault. You might know this is the triple gainer from 90 feet.
Heads up! Got it! Five!
You can hear how loud that entry is when he hits the water. 55 miles per hour, it's like a bullet going through the water. Stopping in just 10 to 15 feet. These guys are in top physical condition. Great start.
Cuidado for the repetition, ¿no?
Also Roland hat der Boje hat sich nichts getan.
Takes Carlos by 4 points for a 114.2.
We had the chance to speak with this athlete earlier, coming by way of Mexico, a former champion. This is Jonathan Paredes.
And we spoke to him before this contest. Obviously, he got a podium in Indonesia yesterday. Handstand in the wind, slight mistake, but he's going to start fighting back now. Aaron Carlos is with two Raiders. Let's see what they do. This one for me had an even better entry, but maybe a little bit of form deductions. So let's see how the judges compare. Brad.
Showing some of that form over the made him the series champion in 2017. He looks on top of his game.
Absolutely. 49 seasons ago since Jonathan Paredes got the biggest prize in cliffdiving, but he's had a wonderful start to the season. Second place in Bali.
Te amo, mi amor.
Stay.
Absolutely.
Stay here. Thank you.
Simón.
And talk about this young man's ascension. In 2024, he had to make the decision to either stop diving or break himself down while pursuing a championship. He got that championship took a year off, and he's back. Ladies and gentlemen, from Great Britain, this is Aiden Heslop.
And another chance for judges to go head-to-head because Aiden is doing the same dive as Jonathan in a triple half in the tug position.
my perspective, obviously, you got to be great every time, and Aiden has done that year after year.
Absolutely. You can see Jonathan and Aiden, they're starting lower down the rank today because they did not have such a good dive yesterday. Even though that they won in Indonesia 2 weeks ago and hit the podium, you have to be consistent throughout this whole World Series if you want to win the King Kahekili Trophy. So Jonathan and Aiden... to count puts him into the lead for now.
He's got 2/10 of a point advantage over Jonathan Perez. And that's going to bring us to the representative from the United States of America. Let me hear you. This is James Lichtenstein.
James becoming the first U.S. cliff diver to win on home soil last year in Boston. He's the current world champion.
Is that okay? All good?
Right there, Owen, a unique entry into the world of cliff diving.
Absolutely. In James's early years, he was actually a trampolinist. He didn't do diving in his childhood until he got to college. But the good thing about cliff diving is that you land feet first, just like trampolinists. Traditional diving, you land on your hands. So James always had that.
Athletes that have already taken 2 dives. This is going to get us a midway through. This is our 7th diver. He is a wild card entrant coming by way of Italy. I present to you, David Baraldi.
And Davide had the result of his life just a month ago at the World Aquatics World Cup in Florida. Took an amazing silver medal. Inward triple somersault, half twist in the pike position. See those toes get so close to the platform.
Let's go! Thank you.
Where he left, he seemed to come awfully close to that diving platform. Is that by design?
Absolutely. When you're performing inward rotating dives, that's the one standing backwards into the platform. It's this fine line between not jumping too far back. Because if you go too far back, you cannot rotate very fast. You get stuck. But if you get too close, you're going to...
How about you?
6.5 across from the judges. Puts the total dive score to 70. Puts him just behind the top 3.
He is currently right now 18 points off the lead as we come now to this athlete representing the Ukraine. This is Alexei Prigorov.
Mr. Prigorov, a bronze medalist from the 2008 Olympic Games on the 3-meter springboard. He's 9 times higher today. And check this one out. This is a funky dive. I love the style on this reverse pull. One twist tuck.
Great body awareness coming later. The 7th athlete coming off of the platform there. And there's a lot to be clapping for indeed.
And this reverse twisting dive is so cool. He takes off the platform, rotating back towards the platform, half twist, and then he's into a front somersault from there on out. Tuck shape. Nice and powerful. He has lots of time to look at the water, judge the depth perception, and line that up nicely.
You use the term power. Obviously, it's important not to just come off of the platform.
Behind James Lichtenstein, who hangs onto the lead for now with 4 men left to go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking out there in our basin right now. I'm seeing that Mastercraft X-Star with the Red Bull logo on it. That's being driven by the greatest wakeboarder of all time, Parks Bonifay, who's taking in the action. But that's going to bring us back up. 90 feet above the water, coming from Romania. This is our next diver. His name is Catalin Frida.
And Catalin got his season off with a World Cup World Aquatics win. He is looking for his first Red Bull cliff diving podium of the season here in St. Pete.
Back on track. I mean, I think it's a crazy sport, so anything can happen. I'm ready for that to happen.
You know,
Let's go.
TV ready, Sancho.
And another effort right now to play a game of catch-up. Catch-up, but one of the decisions for this wild card entry. Representing Mexico, let's celebrate Sergio Basin! Sergio a wild card this year for the Denver all-professional cliffdiving. Took the first spin back 10 years ago in Japan. 2016 World Series. 42 events done. Sergio is showing his experience here in the St. Pete. It looks like a hat between a few weeks, but the style, the upright position that the body is going in there. This is walking up. It is indeed not only the world best cliffdiving behind him, but he was also tasked with being right ahead of his man. Number 2026. How the judges want to play out. The rules of all stands is that you have to show control with 3 seconds minimum. If you get all there, obviously carrying the most experience of the time in the world, even though the end almost to another, you want to tell right back, no silence back before you went. So it's up to the judges to see if they think that you know that. With one man left to dive. And this is the final athlete right here. Coming my way from here, the number 1 seed out of the first round, is the team of it. 2023 World Series champion. We have both sides of the season. We've already the top seed after the first round. Yes or no?
Yeah, you're fine.
Olympians of the 2008 Olympic Games, that for me is the dive of the day so far. Definitely that's the main event of the Olympics. Unfortunately, we saw Pier on there. He was the nice.
Eso.
All right, we are set for round 3 here in St. Petersburg, Florida, and coming from the rugged cliffs of Bali to the calm waters here in Florida's Gulf Coast. The 2026 Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series enters its next chapter. Today, St. Petersburg here becomes the newest stop on the World Series calendar. I'm Trace Worthington alongside Olympic diving medalist Rosaline Filion. Welcome in, Rosaline. The conditions couldn't be more different from what we saw in Bali, and that means a whole new set of challenges for these athletes here in St. Petersburg.
Absolutely. You start from nature, a new setup for 2026 season, and now we're more in a controlled environment directly on the platform. No waves, no big waves like in Bali. So in that just under 2 weeks. So it's a lot of adaptation for many of the athletes. Maybe a more controlled environment gives more control for the athletes to perform today, and so far so good.
The women's start list for round number 3. 4 rounds total, by the way, in a Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Rookie and making her debut, Micah Halbish will kick things off, and then Rhiannon Iflin will dive number 2. And then all the way on down, as you can see, this start list. So round number 3. Who stands out in terms of round number 3 with the women? Obviously, Rhiannon Iflin, the world champion, 9 times over on the World Series.
Yeah, and there's also Kaylee Arnett, who's been incredibly consistent starting this competition and the points are so close from 1 to 2nd position. And the one I'm looking forward in this round is Micah Halbish with a super difficult dive. Right now she's have 109 points, but her degree of difficulty, and if she does it well, it's a back quad, maybe she can get up in the ranking.
So this is the official start list for round number 3. Kaylee Arnett is the best round dive in an individual round, so she, along with her scores between 1 and 2, will be the top seed. Rhiannon Iflin will dive before her. So it is the best of the best in the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, and you're going to see it here in round number 3. And of course, round number 4 is live tomorrow. And speaking of live, we are live on YouTube. So we are looking at some of the comments along with our team from Red Bull Cliff Diving, the World Series. You can see your comments. We'll do our best to answer those along the way. But since we're in the United States, Rosie, let's talk about the history of the American women.
They've been growing and progressing for so many years, as we see Rochelle Simpson winning, the only female U.S. who winning the King Kaikili Trophy in 2014, I believe. And since then, the women have been growing. There's a huge center in Fort Lauderdale built recently.
This was the first 10
yes,
to any female diver on the World Series.
Ginger Huber, now a judge for the Red Bull Cliff Diving Series.
Here today, judging, yeah.
Absolutely. And Kaylee Arnett, she's incredible, doing her thing on the platform, improving year after year. Maybe she could get a win here this time around.
Oh, she's the top seed coming into the 3rd round, so she is in the hot seat. And what about Lisa Faulkner last year in her debut in Pognano Amare, Italy, on the podium?
Exactly. What's such a surprise, but with her gymnastic background, I mean, she's got the experience. She knows how to perform under pressure. Now she's just about building that consistency in the Red Bull Cliff Diving Series. And so far, so good. She's learning new dives, so pushing the boundary, pushing the limits all the time. She's not afraid of anything. And that can lead to something spectacular.
There's the journey up to the top of this platform, by the way. It is tall. It's way up there. So the women's platform 69 feet above the harbor here in St. Pete. The men's platform above that at 89 feet above the water. Going back to the U.S. women real quick, Rochelle Simpson is the only American male or female ever to win the King Kaikili Trophy. James Lichtenstein came close just a couple years ago. There are the judges. Cyril Lemechkon, former diver on the World Series. He's the head judge. Antonio Martinez, Ginger Huber, who we talked about. She is in the house as one of the judges. Valerio Palazzo, and then, of course, Eber Pava. Great group of judges, and that is Ginger Huber on the far right-hand side.
They have a tough job.
They do have a tough job, especially when the waters are rough, when they're on that floating dock.
Yes. Conditions are difficult for the athletes sometimes, but for the judges too. And the hard part is they don't have access to any replay. You watch the dive once, and then you automatically have to set up your score.
Okay, as we mentioned, Micah Halbish making her debut on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, 3rd round dive, or 4 total. Last round dive takes place tomorrow. So here we go, 4.6 degree of difficulty for the rookie.
A back quad in the tuck position. Takes a lot of courage to perform a dive like that.
So that's kicking off round 3 with the 20-year-old German making her debut. Now, Rosie, how intimidating is it for anybody to come into the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series for the first time at 20 years old and you're diving with your idols?
Absolutely, and you want to prove yourself that you belong in this family, in this circuit as well. And she's doing it really well with big dives, high degree of difficulty. Right here you see the tuck position, hesitated at the end. You see the legs stayed tucked a little bit. She will be deducted for that for sure. And what I said about courage earlier is that dive, you don't barony out. You don't have a twist and looking at the water. It's a blind dive. You look at the water, you kick out. looking back, and here she hesitated, maybe not confident enough, but still she landed on her feet. That's all we want for her. And she's showing off that, yes, I'm able to do those big dives. I will perfect them eventually, but you know what? I can do them. I'm here, and it's my opportunity to show it off.
Take advantage of that opportunity. So there are 5 judges, as we introduced earlier. The high and the low scores are tossed out. The remaining 3 are multiplied by the degree of difficulty on that particular dive. So when you add 3 of her scores together so far after 3 rounds, she's a 155 flat. So it goes in reverse order. So the lowest scores from the first 2 rounds dive first, and then the top seed will dive last. The highest scores after 2 rounds, and that of Kaylee Arnett of the United States. As we move on to Morgan Herculano, the 26-year-old Swiss diver. Herculano, nice entry on that, Rosie. She is coming off some confidence with that 3rd place finish from Bali 2 weeks ago, the first of her career. There you go.
And
Herculano arm pump right there.
And she's feeling the momentum. I mean, from that performance in Bali, coming here, I think she's one of the athletes who dedicates her whole life to this performance. She wants to be in the circuit. She wants to be the one to beat, to be beaten. And it shows in her quality. You see the legs coming apart a little bit at the top, landing slightly over at the end here. But what we're looking for is dynamic position. You see it right here. That would be the only thing that could be deducted. But look at the position, looking at the water. And right here, staying rounded at the end, but still very good. She's building that consistency she needs to be on the podium more often and be a permanent diver maybe one day.
So for the lead, she just needs 3.8s as an average, so obviously we'll take over that top spot. The dive score of 81 on this 3rd round dive, so you add that together with the first 2. Herculano, 193.90, the new score to beat. Now that women's platform once again is 69 feet off of the harbor here in St. Petersburg, Sunshine City. And you're a 2-time Olympic medalist, Rosie, in 10-meter platform diving at the Olympic Games. So what is it like now? These guys are 69 feet above the water, which is what, 20 meters, 21 meters.
Exactly. To me, it's absolutely crazy. I've been up there a couple of times, and it's quite different from what I used to do in diving. Well, first of all, they land feet first, because landing on your head is too dangerous at that height, obviously, and the body is not made for that on a 20 meter. But many of the athletes there has been on the diving circuit. Alexei Prigorov, Olympic medalist as well. So we've seen that transition from diving to high diving.
Somebody like Prigorov and you have that diving background. One person who doesn't have a diving background is Ira Schmidbauer of Germany, who we just saw drop in. I mean, she really came from scratch and as just a pure acrobat and learned how to cliff dive. As the judges weigh in, she gets a couple 6.5s in there, but not the biggest score that we've seen her get. She's just coming off a World Cup win from the World Aquatics High Diving Championship in Fort Lauderdale just last month.
Absolutely. She's looking for that consistency. The dives, she has them. She knows she can perfect and do them really well when it counts. In that environment here, it didn't work really well. Her legs were not completely straight in the pike position. Maybe small little details that adds up at the end. They're not bad.
Her daughter, Leilani, is almost 2 years old. There she is.
I remember seeing her in Poliano. I think she was just giving birth and back on the circuit.
2024, she took off the season, So Schmidbauer moves into the top spot with 195.30. And legendary Steve Lobu, former diver, 5-time winner.
And it's so inspiring to see her with her daughter. I mean, women can do anything. Having a family coming back in the circuit, performing it really well. I mean, there's something to be proud of for her.
I know.
So that's the trek up to the top of the platform. Some of the athletes say the biggest challenge is just getting to the dive spot. Is Madeleine Bayel of France dropping in, coming a little bit short on that. Rosie, maybe you could touch on that, how that feels and the impact, even that little bit coming in short, that extra splash means she didn't come in totally centered.
Yeah, and then sometimes it can feel like you get a punch in the face when you land short. The water comes under your chin. But right here, she had a beautiful takeoff. Love that pike position right here. The arms on the side coming out from the Barony could have been a bit longer there. She was really quick to get in that position. Sometimes it stops a rotation too quickly.
Somebody's asking about what's the highest you and I would ever dive off of. Now, you have a diving background.
Yes.
I have a freestyle skiing aerial background. I was 50 feet, 55 feet in the air with skis on my feet.
And snow at the bottom.
I would go off the men's platform, but not do a flip.
You would go off the 27?
I would just jump.
Oh, I would not.
How about you with your diving background?
I can't remember who from the circuit I told. I should try. I think it was Aiden and Molly. I think I should try jumping off the 20 meter, but I would do it at the Olympic Stadium, an indoor platform and in a controlled environment. Outside like that, I'm not sure.
We saw Bayonne come in. She's in third right now with a 192.30. But going back to that, this is so much different. You bring up a good point. This is so much different. The controlled indoor environment of traditional Olympic and World Aquatics high diving or diving indoor environment versus this outdoor environment. Now, as we look at our next diver, Nelly Chukanievska, she has to deal with all the sun, the light shifting, the water moving, and all the
wind
elements. Yeah, the wind.
For round one, it was quite crazy. Standing on your tippy toes with your heels off the platform when it's super windy at this height, it's so hard to stay focused. Now it's not, for round three, it's not a problem with the wind. Yes.
Hey, so Nelly Chukanievska, the 19-year-old. Rough start to the season, 10th place out of 12 divers at the first stop, but again, and that's not to take away from your diving career and experience by being indoors, but Red Bull cliff diving, the World Series, is just a little bit different when it comes to that. But you guys have your challenges when you were diving as well.
Absolutely. Lighting, color of the walls makes a huge difference. And even diving outside, if the water is blue and the sky is blue, you have to find a way to have something to look like the water, a bit green here, so you know where the water is. There's safety divers in there to make sure everything's correct with surfacing the water with some splash there. Really important, because if you don't know where you're going, it could be super dangerous. And in this case, the environment is perfect for them.
Some of our viewers, again, we're live on YouTube, we can see your comments, and yes, correct. It's about a 3-second free fall, maybe a little less for the women, obviously, but 85 kilometers per hour, 53 miles per hour before hitting the water. That's 10 G's of physical force on the men's side, again, but maybe a little bit less on the women's side, coming from 69 feet versus 89 feet or 27 or 21 meters. But Chukanievska pulls into the lead with 24 or 124, 214.50, excuse me. But that's why they're going feet first as well.
Exactly.
Because of that speed.
Yeah, and what's interesting as well is that at that height, you cannot train on a daily basis off that platform. It's really hard on the body. They practice from lower platforms, their dives.
This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Arm stand forward, 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists.
Jeannie Van Katwijk, 41 years old, and again, you're the expert in this, but my guess is you don't want to come in that short. You want to land a little bit more vertical. That can hurt.
Absolutely, and you know what? Even a vertical entry can hurt as well.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you never know. It really depends on how you feel on a given day. But on this one, the handstand was pretty impressive, very solid. Beautiful position in the air, but right here, I wanted to see her pike a little bit more before getting that vertical position. It would have helped her get that perfect entry. And you have to adapt yourself constantly. These athletes, they know how to do their dive. At this point in a competition, it's all about muscle memory. They know when you're standing on that platform, you know exactly what your body is going to do, even if you have not the perfect focus point in your mind. But being outdoors means adaptability all the time. So it's half-half. It could be muscle memory all the time and adaptability depending on what's going on.
Jeannie moves into fifth, 183.90. We're midway through women's round 3. Or 4 rounds in total. The 4th round will take place tomorrow. We'll see Molly Carlson dive in just a minute as we move on to Xanthia Panizzi, a 27-year-old from Australia.
That angle, you have like an idea of how high they're compared to paddlers.
All right, Panizzi of Australia needed that dive to climb the rankings. As a reminder that all 4 rounds, all 4 scores are added together. There's no drop of a score. There's no high and the low there. It's all added together. So that is going to help her out.
And I think this dive is one of her most consistent one throughout her full list. And it's good because it's a high degree of difficulty, a 4.4. You see the entry right here resisting that impact. And it's the last image the judges will have. So clean entry is very important. On the takeoff, what's really important as well, and it's really hard, is to keep your legs together in the twist, in the transition to the pike position. It looks easy, but getting your legs together and closer throughout the dive is quite hard.
That should put her right in there. Probably on the top of the leaderboard. There you go. So the average from judges, 792.40 on that dive. So you add it together with the first 2 rounds, 223.60 for Panizzi. Now the score to beat. And you want to qualify high after this 3rd round because you want to dive the bottom of the running order as we look at Orlando Duque, the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series Sport Director, legendary ambassador of the sport whose impact can still be seen in every competition today.
If there's one guy who knows what cliff diving is all about, it's him.
The dudes dove from everywhere, as I always like to say. Glaciers, helicopters. As Joey Zuber says, lamp posts, light posts. I'm like, what? But yeah, it's he's dove from everywhere. All right.
And then closer.
So Molly Carlson.
Perfect. Splash.
30th World Series start.
Good entry.
Carlson, nice entry there. Now, what was the difference with that dive compared to the others, Rosie?
We'll have to look at the replay because the angle was quite far here. But it's all about rhythm, momentum. When the dive looks really easy, that's where it's well executed. The entry as well, very important. And it's one of Molly's newer dives. She learned it a couple of seasons ago. And look at that entry, clean, excellent. On that takeoff. I was actually there when she learned to dive the first time in Montreal. She doesn't really like twisting dives, and actually recent weeks she said she suffered twisties, so she was getting lost a little bit in her twists. But this one feels really comfortable. I remember her saying, oh, it's quite easy and I love it. And she perfected it throughout her weeks of training in the off season, and the works is paying off right now.
Safety divers down below, making sure everything is cool. Tough job for them today. The water kind of murky here in the harbor. It's a little bit different contrast than just a short distance away, the clear blue waters of St. Petersburg, Florida. So 93.60 on that dive. So 226 total for Carlson. So that'll put her into the lead at the moment here in round number 3.
So many things can happen in just one dive. So you want to build up yourself for confidence on the last round.
Her friend and teammate.
Same dive. Beautiful.
I put it on. Great dive by Simone Leadhead.
What I love about Simone, and when she gets on that platform, on the edge of the platform, she doesn't waste any time. She goes, she's not afraid, she knows what she's doing. And she's one of the few who doesn't need to inhale, exhale to get in the zone. She just does the work. And look at that entry. Excellent. Her technique is quite unique to her. You can see every step of the dive. That jump, that twist, getting in that pike, barony out. And that entry. Beautiful.
The divers, Rosie, they try to incorporate new dives, maybe more difficult dives as they come into the season, maybe even halfway through the season, maybe introduce a new dive. But are there any new dives invented in this sport? I look at Aiden Heslop, who we'll see shortly, and
yes,
coming up with super, just adding a twist or another half twist. That to me is.
I think the innovative part of diving is adding a flip, adding a twist, handstand, and you see it more often now because the depth of the athletes, it gets bigger and bigger. And if you want to actually win this thing, you have to do something special. You have Rhiannon Iflin that you can see who's been winning forever. And how do you want to beat her? It may be presenting a new dive, a harder degree of difficulty. That's the way you get a chance to win, maybe.
A little bit of a breeze for our next diver. So this is Lisa Faulkner.
And actually, when you learn a new dive, you have to show it to the judges before the competition, and they will say okay or no if it's safety reasons for you. If they judge that, yeah, it's good, you can perform it, or if it looks too dangerous, they will say, no, we don't want to see it in competition.
Let's talk about how difficult this dive is and getting on your arms. Oof.
Arm stand back, 2.5 somersaults, 2 twists. Look at that control, so strong.
So Faulkner, I mean, it's so impressive and strong. Obviously coming off that platform, an arm stand position. And why would she choose the arm stand position? Is it a more difficult dive than the others? You have running starts, you have, frontward takeoffs. This one,
I guess
wow, this is crazy.
I guess at this point is what's more comfortable for you. For me as a diver, I loved handstand. I wanted to do it. And sometimes athletes are not comfortable with it, but we're gymnastic background. You see on the takeoff, she needed to give herself a little bit of push because she was comfortable standing there on her hands. It's really beautiful, a bit fast at the end, landing over quite a bit, but still very impressive dive.
And 6.5 from the judges. So it is Lisa that hangs on with 2 to go.
All right, the high and the lower toss. The remaining 3 multiplied by the degree of difficulty. So she'll toss out a 6.5 in there as her high. So Faulkner comes in with an average of 6.2 from the judges. It's an 81.40 on that 3rd round dive. Once again, you add it together with the first 2. Faulkner 227.10. All 4 rounds count and are added together. 2 more to drop in the women's round 3 before we move on to the men, with Simone Leathead leading the way with 233.80. Beautiful day in St. Petersburg, Florida. The first time the World Series has been to this city.
It's fun for the athletes to discover new places for competition. They had Bali 2 weeks ago, now this.
Here's Rhiannon Iflin, 9-time Red Bull Cliffdiving World Series champion. There you go, Iflin drilling it in to the harbor, showing you why she's the best.
And what fascinates me about her is her consistency. It's phenomenal. No matter the environment, waves, no waves, wind, no wind. Oh, you can see she was shaking a little bit, maybe feeling more of the pressure now that Kaylee Harnett was less than a point ahead of her, maybe. But look at that.
So powerful right there.
Yeah.
You mentioned her consistency, 46 World Series wins. So she's 1 shy of Gary Hunt's record, by the way. Gary Hunt's at 47, so she could do that. We'll find out tomorrow.
The only thing in this dive here is our transition from the twist to the pike, a little bit sideways, but she managed to get back straight, get that entry.
So reawaits her score from the 5 judges. It'll put her into the lead with an average of 7.7, as you see there. 101.20. So busting that 100 mark on that particular dive. So 255.90 is the new mark here on the women's side. Round number 3, 1 diver to drop, and that's Kaylee Harnett of the United States. Everybody having fun out there. This landing zone, 5.7 meters in depth, about 18 feet deep.
I love her. She's so fun. She's staying true to herself as well when she gets on that platform, no matter the outcome or the pressure. She's the last diver to go. You always feel a bit of pressure on your shoulders, but she's up there dancing, playing with the crowd. First and foremost is the show. You want to put on a great show to people watching, and it's by showing off your personality through your performances.
These guys are loving their performances right there. Kaylee Harnett, 33 years old. Top seed in this, coming into this 3rd round. Three somersaults, and Kaylee Harnett is on fire. She is aiming to win her first ever Red Bull Cliffdiving World Series. This is only her 11th ever start. And you look at the reaction of Rhiannon Iflin. She's got some competition rolling here in St. Petersburg.
Oh, and we need to see something close to a perfect score here. Everything was there. I mean, I think she has the prettiest pike position of them all. Body close to the legs, beautiful takeoff. Look at that. So much time to look at the water and adjust to get that vertical position, and no splash at all. You'll see what I mean by the pike position right here. Knees on the chest, forehead on the shins. Incredible.
Somebody's asking what does define the degree of difficulty, or what determines the degree of difficulty in these events?
There's people specialized in that and analyzing what dives degree of difficulty, and we've seen in the last years that they're changing. When you're pushing the boundaries and doing new dives, the one that seemed difficult at the time, they will lower the degree of difficulty.
Well, look at this. It's paying off for the American Kaylee Arnett. 101.40 on that dive. And now, a position she has not been in yet. 256.90. The top diver going into the 4th round, and she has the highest individual round dive score. That's what that star indicates next to her name. Arnett.
Still 1 point
lighting it up
ahead of Ifland. It's not that much, but still.
But it's good confidence.
Exactly.
You get to dive last tomorrow in round number 4.
Exactly.
Once again, Kaylee Arnett in her 11th ever start on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series is the top diver with the best individual round score. That's what the star indicates with 256.90. As you indicated, Rosie, Rhiannon Ifland not far behind with 255.90. So Canadian Simone Leathead in 3rd, and right on down the line, great women's round 3. Impressive here from St. Petersburg.
What I love is to see not just the consistency, but the improvement. What you want to do is build up your performance. You start off with a good dive, you're adding one, and then coming into the end, you want to lift up your performance and get those points, get those scores, because the degree of difficulty increases as well.
It's the new Pier. Reopened back in 2020 here in St. Petersburg. We're just in the harbor at the front end of the new pier. And Kaylee Arnett delivers a banger right there to pull into the top spot. Leads coming into the 3rd round. Now leading, going out of the 3rd round.
And it's quite early in the season, and the athletes are on top of their game. They're performing really well. Sometimes there's a build-up throughout the seasons as well. The off time was quite long, but now it seems like nobody ever stopped, and the dives are there, the quality is there, which is really impressive.
Kaylee trains nearby with Steve LeBeau, who we've seen in some of the shots. Steve LeBeau, former diver on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, now coaching at the Fort Lauderdale facility here in St. Petersburg, just like Fort Lauderdale. Beautiful, sunny out today. Yesterday, it was cloudy and a little bit windy.
Yeah.
Here in the Sunshine City. 29 degrees Celsius, 84 Fahrenheit. Water temp, nice and warm, 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. And again, you can see a bigger wide shot now of the harbor. Of course, the beautiful beaches here of St. Petersburg, Florida.
And apparently a couple of days ago, there were dolphins around our harbor, and the athletes were diving, seeing dolphins jumping around. They want to be a part of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series.
Of course. Stay close to the action. Follow us at Red Bull Cliff Diving. Get to follow us at Red Bull Cliff Diving on Instagram, Red Bull Cliff Diving Facebook page, obviously, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're watching us live on YouTube right now. Trace Worthington alongside 2-time Olympic medalist in diving, Rosaline Filion. And now, moving on to the men's competition here from St. Petersburg. Second stop of the 2026 season. 6 stops this year. Aiden Heslop, we'll see him diving shortly. Winner of the first stop in Bali.
And a comeback victory.
Huge comeback, yeah. After a back surgery. 17th season of the World Series. 14th time in the U.S. and first time in Florida. The World Series has taken place in Hawaii, Texas, and Boston previous years. 8 different nationalities represented on the women's roster. 9 for the men, and before we move on to the men's competition, we're going to send it to Frosty, who's with Kaylee Arnett. What's going on, guys?
All right, Kaylee, amazing dive as we come to expect from you. Do you feel like being here, home turf, America, you're getting a boost from the crowd, from the States?
I'm definitely getting a boost of some kind, but it is manifesting itself in nerves. So I actually feel pretty nervous for this competition, way more nervous than I felt for Bali. But I think it's a good sign. Every time that I'm not nervous, I end up messing up somehow. So even though the nerves feel like they're making you feel bad, it helps you keep you alert. And yeah, just trust in your body.
Now, I got to say, I think that you walking on the platform it's a highlight for a lot of people. There's the most fun energy coming through. You're dancing, you're cheering, you're getting the crowd excited. Is that for them, for you? What does it do to your mental state?
Oh, it's a win-win situation. It's for me and it's for them. For me, it's if I can relax from the outside in, if I can relax my body, then I can feel kind of calm inside. And it's also fun for the crowd. So I'm a performer at heart, and if I just treat it like a big show, then it kind of calms me down inside.
And what about your position? And you still push through after her amazing dive with an even better one. Is that giving you extra power, boost, putting the nerves on?
I really don't try to look at the results at all. Of course, we're cheering for each other. We all want each other to do well, but you got to focus on yourself and try to block out the rest of the distractions. And I'm not going to think too much about the results tomorrow, and just honestly, tomorrow's my big reverse triple pike, so I'm always just nervous to not hit the platform for that one.
Amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. I know we all are. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Michael Frosty Snow. Down there, waterside, and yeah, you have to love Kaylee Arnett's attitude. We will see her tomorrow in round 4 and to try to secure her potentially first ever win on a World Series. Here is the start list for the men's round number 3. And you look at the biggest names in the sport right there. We saw Aiden Heslop, the winner of the first stop. He's running right in the middle there, followed by Gary Hunt, his idol, and the most decorated cliff diver of all time, Gary Hunt. Konstantin Popovich will cap things off. He is the top seed after 2 rounds of diving, which means he has the highest total score. So anybody that we see at the top of the running order right now, starting things off, has some work to do to get themselves back up in the ranking, Rosie, including this guy right here, Carlos Jimeno. Will kick off men's round 3. Men's platform now, as a reminder, 27 meters, just shy 89 feet above the water.
And kicking things off with an arm stand back, 4.5 somersaults in the tuck position. So first diver of this round, really high degree of difficulty. It's always nerve-wracking a little bit.
Aiden's getting prepped. He's getting ready to rock. This is so impressive to watch. 89 feet off the water, 27 meters, Rosie.
On your hands.
On your hands.
We talked about it when Lisa Faulkner was doing an handstand on the 20 meter, but 27 meter. I mean, you really have to focus and look at your hands and forget about everything else. Great control here.
All right, so Jimeno coming in a little bit, what I like to call heavy on that, a little bit short.
Yep.
Very uncharacteristic. He bailed out in Bali, just wasn't feeling it. So actually midway through the competition, he withdrew himself. And now it seems like that's continuing by where he is in the running order in round number 3, first of all, Rosie, but second of all, just this isn't the Carlos that we're normally used to seeing.
Maybe a little bit more momentum, that coordination with your kick your legs out and you push with your arms. It creates the speed you need to have to complete these 4.5 rotation. He's looking at the water and telling himself, oh, I have to be quick, otherwise I won't have enough space. And funny to think that off 27 meter, you don't have enough space to complete the dive, but it's all about the takeoff. It will dictate how you need to adjust and when you need to adjust to get in that water vertically.
75.60 on that dive. As we kick off the third round, 186.20 for Jimeno after 3 rounds. So 11 men in this round.
All right, the score is coming.
Is Andrea Barnaba of Italy. He withdrew because of sickness yesterday.
That's unfortunate.
So moving on now to our next diver from New Zealand, Braden Rumpet. He trains out of Fort Lauderdale, 4.5-hour drive from here. 24-year-old, in only his 6th ever World Series start. So he's one of those, again, gaining some experience, or at least trying to take advantage of that. What's he doing for a dive?
He will be doing an inward quad half in the tuck position. Oh, good.
Very nice. So Rumpet, a wild card diver. Good time to bring up what a wild card diver is. There are 8 permanent divers on the women's side and the men's side. They get invited to the entire series, all 6 stops. And the rest, all the other 4 remaining spots per gender are filled with wild card divers. I always compare it to a different sport, like soccer or football, when you have somebody on the bench and now they've got a shot, right? They're now on the field and this is their time to shine. And if they do well, maybe they'll get invited back, or maybe they won't be sitting on the bench and they'll be first seed.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Or a starting quarterback, or a starting forward in soccer. So anyway, that's the best way to describe a wild card diver. If you get a shot, prove yourself, and you might be able to last a little bit longer on the series throughout the year. 90.30 for Rumpet.
That's a good day today.
So his total after 3, 204.50. So great job for the New Zealand athlete that lives in Fort Lauderdale and trains with Stephen Lobu there. Catlin Preda of Romania, one of the Romanian Sharks. See him shortly. Hayden Heslop getting stretched out, making his way to the top of the tower. 27 meters, 89 feet above the water. Davide Baraldi.
You can see his heartbeat. 115.
Oh, come on. That was huge. Beautiful dive.
A dive.
Man, he's so agile in the air. And how do you know where you are, Rosie? How do you know where you are throughout all those flips?
Repetition. And you really have to have your eyes open, you know? Some of the divers will close their eyes and go with feelings. But in this case, you can't. It's too dangerous. But look at that pike position. I love the takeoff. Super quick, super fast. You see it right here. When you throw your arms in front of you with the head up. That's exactly the technique you want to be doing in order to see what's happening. Love the toe point, very important. All those little details are so important. They could give you half a point to a point more. Legs together, looking at that water, arms along the body, so confident in that entry. Look at that. What a dive, really.
Baraldi with a 111.30. That's a big score. So 242.25. All 4 rounds are added together. So after 3, Baraldi in the top spot. Talked about Steve LeBeau again. There he is. Runs that Fort Lauderdale diving facility. Coaches many divers. They come in. Some live there permanently. Some just come in and train for a couple weeks. Steve helps them out. Steve's part of that American male legacy in the world of diving and cliff diving. Jonathan Paredes, this guy's impressive. Has the second most stops of anyone ever on the World Series.
Experienced diver.
81st start.
And the one probably with the best entries of them all. Forward 4 somersaults, 1.5 twist.
There you go. Johnny, it's kind of weird because I'm so used to Johnny coming in and you just don't see anything, right?
No matter how he lands.
Like the water folds in, so if there's a teeny splash, it throws me off. But this guy is so solid. Awesome season opener for Johnny, by the way, placing 2nd in Bali 2 weeks ago.
He's always in the mix. And really the challenge at this point in his career is taking care of the body. Maybe doing a little bit less training, focusing on what he needs to do. So many things happening in the air. Slightly over at the end. See, he decided to do a running takeoff for the dives, leaning a bit forward. But look, pike, twist, the legs coming apart a tiny bit, going back into the pike. And then Barony out in the water.
Yeah, it's a little bit heavier on the impact than we're normally used to seeing Johnny come in.
Did pretty solid.
7.5 average by the judges, so that total 105.75. So actually puts him behind Baraldi with a 241.95. So tight competition there. The top 2, Davide Baraldi has, with that star next to his name, top score in terms of an individual dive. Now you get an extra point for that in the end. It's 20 points for the win, but you earn an extra point if you have the highest individual round dive score. Moving on to Heslop. Molly Carlson, his girlfriend, we saw diving earlier. Some of the viewers wondering about. The judges have dove before. We know Ginger Huber was a great diver.
Yeah.
She's judged down there. Cyril Lemechkon. Stefan, the Canadian coach.
Some of them are ex-high diver, cliff divers, but there's some who has a diving background, but there's a school of judging that you need to go through in order to have what it takes to be a judge in this sport. It's not just I lift my hand up and I'm like, hey, I would like to be a judge. No, there's a full educational package that you have to go through, exams to go through, evaluation, shadow judging in order to get on that panel. So a long way to go.
Hayden Heslop, winner of the first stop in Bali.
Oh!
That was crazy. Aiden Heslop.
And he's going to be really pleased with this one because he did not start a competition as well as he hoped. And we've seen him before coming back from like 8th position, winning the competition. He knows how to do it and performs so well under pressure. When he needs to nail a dive, he nails the dive.
Not only that, but it is the highest degree of difficulty that has been logged in this round. Aiden Heslop looking like he didn't have back surgery at all on this. What a comeback story for Heslop, from back surgery to recovery
And what's interesting is you always learn something from an injury. And what he learned throughout this injury is that he needs to take care a little bit more of his body. His body is allowing him to perform and do all these really difficult dives. So you need to rest when you need to rest. You need to work out in a different way than just diving and throw you off. I feel like he's an original cliff diver where I just go up there and do those dives, but there's a buildup for your body in order to last so long, like a Gary Hunt, let's say, that he's been around forever. So he learned that throughout his injury.
The 2024 Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series champion and King Kahekili Trophy winner. Taking a season off, he is back, winner of the first stop. And he rolls on and shows his strength and power with a 131 on that. Heslop now in the lead with 267.50. Reached the halfway point, still some big names yet to drop in. But Heslop, that score will certainly assist him.
It seems like the vibe. I know. He's going to stay there. He's going to stay there. Well done.
Great part about the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series, these guys are all friends. They all help each other out. They know how dangerous this sport can be, and they all want to see the best dives out of each other and bring the best out of each other. So here is the guy who, speaking of best, 41-year-old Frenchman Gary Hunt. 11-time Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series champ. 3 somersaults, 3.5 twists. Still at it, Gary Hunt, but look at that, coming in a bit short. That's not what we normally see out of the legend, Gary Hunt.
The entry was a little bit short, but he's battling with an injury as well.
It's not a foot injury,
Off Bali.
Yeah, off the tree. So he fractured his foot there. He actually wanted him to get surgery. This Frosty was telling us this.
Yeah.
Actually wanted to get surgery done on his foot. He opted out of it. Just going to do rehab to try to get through the season. But how hard is it, Rosie? You know what it's like diving off of platforms and diving boards to need that foot and the bones in the foot.
Well, everything comes from your feet and the momentum. You can't hold back when you're on that platform. If you hold back, it's dangerous. So imagine pushing through pain as a broken bone in your foot. It's crazy. And those really difficult dives as well. He's doing it really well. And the impact of the water as well.
Yeah.
It hurts all the way through, and you can see he's not putting any weight on his feet right now.
Gary Hunt.
And that's a testament to how much he loves the sport.
106 World Series starts, most of anyone. 227.15. That's the total score. If you just joined us, this is the 3rd round of the men. All 3 rounds count. James Lichtenstein of the United States gets prepared for his dive. He's coming up shortly. But anyway, all 3 added together at the moment. Tomorrow is round number 4. And a lot of movement can take place between round 3 and 4. You can be 5th place going into round 4 and still win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Catlin Preda, 4 somersaults on this one.
And 2 twists. 5.1 degree of difficulty. It's not the highest we've seen in this competition so far, but still pretty good. Not too nervous. You can see his heartbeat right now. And he's been through so much in his career.
There's heart rates going up.
All
right. That's how you get it done, ripping in the water. Trying to climb up that leaderboard. He needs some big points to kind of get into that top 4, top 3, top 5-ish area for tomorrow's competition. Round number 4.
Love this dive for him. Arms along the body at the end, so confident. The legs are coming apart a little bit. I love that opening. Arms along the body, did not to put his hand on the side like a cross to stop the rotation. Really pretty.
And the water is a little bit murkier, like it's murky in this harbor area. It's not like that too far from here, but when you get that protected walls, the protected walls and rocks in this harbor, this bay, the North Yacht Basin, just tend to get the murky waters, a little cloudier. Hard for the safety divers as well.
It's hard to see underwater for them.
Cat is 32nd appearance on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Heslop right there leading the way here after his dive, his round 3 dive. 267.50. Freda coming off a 4th place finish in Bali 2 weeks ago. Strong start to the season. So Preda moves into 2nd with 257.25. So you look at a pretty tight leaderboard and that top 4 between Heslop and Paredes. Between 241 and a 267. So this thing's not over till tomorrow's round number 4, which you want to tune into.
And on the men's side, you never know who's going to be at top of the podium. There's so many athletes with heart dives, beautiful, solid dives, and anyone can win this thing.
Even Alexei Prigorov.
Same dive as Catalin, back quad 2 twists in the pike position. He had a really strong round 2.
All right, Prigorov.
And again.
Big.
It's a good day for him.
A 38-year-old from Ukraine turns 39 at the end of this month. Like you, an Olympic medalist.
Yes, in a 3-meter synchro at the Beijing 2008 Olympics.
So Ginger Huber on the far right-hand side, she gives a 6.5. Cyrilla Mechkon, head judge, former diver, gives a 7 on this.
And I feel she's looking back at the other judges knowing like, oh, maybe my score was lower than the other. I would have expected a higher score for this dive. It was quite really well done. Maybe the jump a bit far out. You don't want to start your dive at the platform level. You want it higher, but still very solid at the end. Good position in the air.
I'm always impressed with his diversity of a traditional diver from springboard to 10-meter now.
Oh, and it's so different.
Yeah.
In every way.
Yeah, now 27 meters, 89 feet above the water. So Prigorov moves into 3rd place with a 255.10. So a solid score for the Ukrainian diver. Put him in a good position going in to the 4th and final round. 3 left, including James Lichtenstein from the United States. Great American history of male cliff diving on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. Starting off with David Colturi. He's got 1 win under his belt. That was back in Italy, 2013. Colturi back when he had short hair. There's Steve LeBou, who we've seen on site cheering on his best buddy. And that was a big moment for Colturi. And then Steve LeBoux himself, winner of 5 World Series competitions. And what's crazy about that is 2 of them have been at the same location. Bilbao, Spain, he's won twice there. Azores, Portugal, he's also won twice at that location. Rosie.
Incredible divers that did a lot for the sport. And their legacy is still going on with James Lichtenstein, who's the first American to win on home soil with an absolute crazy back quint off the 20 meter. One of the only ones to do it.
Lichtenstein at that final stop last season in Boston, closing a 7-year American victory drought and the first American, as you mentioned, to win on U.S. soil. And James and Steve LeBoux, the closest Americans on the male side to get that King Kakili trophy. They both come down to the last competition or 2 and just couldn't close it out. But maybe this will be the year for James Lichtenstein as he comes into this 3rd round. The score of 148.80 so far. He needs to ramp it up. 4.5 somersaults on this. What?
5.4. Arm stand back, 4.5 somersaults. And he needs time to really focus. He's the one who gets on the edge of the platform, take a breather, thinking about the technique he has to do, and then starting the dive. So what's interesting is that one of his hands is not completely on the edge of the platform, and he moves them.
Wow. But whatever he did to make those adjustments just worked out for Lichtenstein.
Oh, wow. Fascinating.
He told me he was feeling much better entering this season compared to last, just in terms of prep, in terms of his strength and confidence. Another diver who trains in Fort Lauderdale, close by. Oh, he did shift those hands.
Yes, only one hand.
Just crushes the entry. Whoa.
Yeah, on that takeoff there, you need so much power to complete those 4.5 rotations in the tuck position. Look at that. I mean, 4.5, for him, it's easier. He does back quint.
See what the judges think. The high and the lower toss, remaining 3, again, multiplied by the degree of difficulty. 140.40 for James Lichtenstein. And now he is way in the lead.
He wants to win at home again.
So King James, as his family likes to call him, they all have a t-shirt that says King James on it. And they are here cheering him on, and that was an impressive dive. So Guzman is next. Popovic, who we're seeing climb up the 27-meter, 90-foot tower, gets ready to go. But we'll look at Guzman first. Another veteran diver.
With the back.
Another flipper.
Quad. Yeah.
It's like James.
Back quad tuck.
first-rate dive for the 35-year-old Mexican diver, Sergio Guzman.
He's going to be really happy with that one.
42 World Series starts, excuse me. 2 podiums in those 42 World Series starts. We'll see if here in St. Petersburg you can pull something together and get on that podium.
Yeah, the adrenaline coming out after the dive. You need to be so focused and calm. Beautiful tuck position, great position in the air. A bit splashy at the end, but that relief when you touch the water and you know it's great and it's just as what you wanted. And you can see, look, he's looking at the water, looking back every step of the way. Getting into that straight position, maybe body moving at the end that created the splash, but look at that.
I always love his Sergio's reactions. Viewers are asking Rosie what time tomorrow round 4 goes down. It is live, folks, at 1 p.m. Eastern time in the United States, 5 o'clock p.m. GMT over in Europe. So tune in to redbull cliffdiving. Redbull Cliffdiving's YouTube channel for that, as well as Redbull TV. Once again, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern in the U.S., 5 p.m. GMT. Guzman's score coming in, 8.2 average by the judges. So that will put him, with that 105.35, should put him into the top 4th. So 256 will put Guzman into 4th. Still in a great position leading into tomorrow. Liechtenstein right there with that 289. Oof, that's a big score.
He's comfortably ahead. Still, it's going to be a battle for 3rd, 2nd, but we still have 1 more to go.
Konstantin Popovich. '23 World Series champion and King Kakili Trophy winner. Off to a slow start in Bali.
Here with a 5.7 degree of difficulty, one of the highest of this round. Same dive as Aiden Heslop. A back 4 somersault, 3 twists.
Popovich sending it here in St. Petersburg. Coming a bit short on that with a heavy landing. Yeah, that little bigger splash, that will impact the scores.
Yeah, it took quite a long time before taking off that platform. He knows he didn't do it as well as he wanted it to be. Will that be enough to get in the lead? Takeoff was really powerful. Look at that jump. Beautiful twisting position. Look at that pike, forehead on the chin. What's really specific about him is the way he's coming out of his dive at the Barony. We'll see it eventually. That's the takeoff, transition into the pike.
We say a Barani, that's a half twisting front?
Exactly. Right, front flip half twist right here. You see the arms are not completely on the side. And elbows are bent. It's his style usually, but you see him struggling a little bit at the end, which landed in a little bit short.
I don't think that's going to cut it. James, his dive, beautiful. Popovich knows it. He's right in there with the judges. He understands exactly.
He knows what he did wrong in this dive.
But that doesn't mean he doesn't have a shot tomorrow with the rest.
Oh, it's never over until it's over.
Got to watch that 4th round tomorrow. So Popovich with an average of 5.5. Yep, not the score he was looking for with a 94.05. So Popovich now will have to find some big points tomorrow as he sits in 6th place after 3 rounds of diving. Going to be a fun battle between Lichtenstein, Heslop, and Preda.
Lichtenstein having the pressure on his shoulder diving last tomorrow.
The big question is who has the degree of difficulty. If everyone had their best dive tomorrow, Rosie, let's say that's the standard. If all those guys had their best dive, who do you think it will be?
Lichtenstein has a back quint tomorrow, I'm guessing.
Okay.
So, if he does it like he did in Boston where he won at home, it should be enough.
Well, the star goes next to Davide Baraldi, so he has that extra point so far. We'll see if that changes tomorrow for the best individual round dive score. But James Lichtenstein of the United States leads the charge going into the 4th round, the 289. Close behind is Aiden Heslop, winner of the first stop in Bali. And Catlin Preda hoping to get back up on the podium after his 4th place finish in Bali, 257.25 for the Romanian diver. Sergio Guzman, though, the wild card diver, great job hanging in there.
And I have the list in front of me. Heslop has a 5.9 degree of difficulty for his last dive.
Okay.
We have Popovich with a 5.8 degree of difficulty, and back quint is 5.2. So
I'm stoked for tomorrow.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Let's check out James and his dive to put him on top of the leaderboard right here, Rosie. Beautiful.
Yes, an arm stand, 4.5 somersault in the tuck position. Really well done. That's exactly what you wanted to do. You want to be in a position, in a contended position for the last round. Set yourself apart, get comfortable in your points. So you have a margin of error from the last dive, you know, with the pressure and everything. Fort one is always very important to nail, and he did. Satisfied. Here.
His mother Judy told me that big support crew is here representing. His father Mitch is here, sister Jen, girlfriend Christina, who've seen some of the shots. So James Lichtenstein, top of the leaderboard on the men's side. Going into round number 4, Kaylee Arnett from the United States. So the Americans sitting nice going into round number 4 tomorrow. Let's go down to Frosty, who's with James Lichtenstein. Frosty.
So, something wrong in Bali. I mean, it just hurts to hit the water. So.
All right, James. This has been an incredible showing for you so far. I mean, you got the fans, your family's here, living large. Is this feeling like it's driving you for the win right now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yesterday it was a little calmer. Weather wasn't as good. Today the sun's out. All the fans are out. My family and friends are here. The energy from the crowd, I'm just really feeding off that and having some fun up there, and then getting in the zone and doing my dives like I know how to do them. So.
I mean, you're definitely doing it right. Whatever you're doing, that secret sauce is working. I noticed you got some bandages on your foot. Are you all right?
Yeah, I mean, I got to tape my entire foot just to protect a small blister on the bottom of my foot. I'm totally fine. I'm just protecting it. Like, it's all good.
All right, so what's going through your head? I mean, you've got a lot of different things going on here. You are the only American to ever have won on American soil. Do you feel like it puts extra pressure on you now that we're here, or does it motivate?
I mean, for me, I feel like the pressure was last year in Boston, whereas like that hasn't been done. So now it's been done, and I did it. If I don't do it, like obviously I want it. I want it bad. I don't feel pressure. I feel, I'm fortunate to have family and friends that are super supportive. If I mess up, they're fine. I'm my own harshest critic, really. Like if I mess up, like, they're going to hear it from me. I'm not going to hear it from them. So,
well, amazing. All you're going to hear is congratulations for all of us because you did an amazing job, and we're looking forward to tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Back to you guys.
All right, congratulations, James and Kaylee Arnett on the women's side, the top American. So the two Americans leading going into tomorrow. And we will see you tomorrow, Saturday, June 6th, live for round 4 of the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series from St. Petersburg. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. Eastern in the United States, 5 p.m. GMT, 7 p.m. Central European Time. Watch on Red Bull TV and the Red Bull Cliff Diving YouTube channel. So for Rosaline Filion, I'm Trace Worthington. We'll be back with you tomorrow from St. Petersburg. See you then.